Genre: realistic fiction. Aguinaldo by Lulu Delacrae. Illustrated by John Parra. When I was growing up in Puerto Rico, I went to a small girls' school. Every December, Senorita Antonia, our teacher, insisted that the 6th grade visit the nursing home in Santurce. Bringing Christmas cheer to the old and infirm was an experience she felt all 6th graders should have. But the year I was in 5th grade, Senorita Antonia decided our class was mature enough to join the older girls and have that experience too. "I'm not going," I whispered to my friend Margarita. "You have to, Maria," she said. "Everyone has to go." All of my classmates looked forward to the trip. Some because they liked the rackety bus ride to anywhere. Some because they could skip school for the day, and that meant no homework. And others because they believed that to do a 6th grade activity in 5th grade was very special. But ever since my only grandma died in a nursing home, the thought of going back to one made me feel sad. I didn't want to go. As I sat at my desk, coloring the Christmas card that I was assigned to make for a resident, I tried to figure out how I could skip this field trip. Maybe they would let me help at the library. Maybe I could write a special book report at school while they were out. Or better yet, I could wake up ill and stay home from school. As soon as the recess bell rang, I ran over to the library to try out my first plan. "Hola, Maria," Senor Collazo greeted me. "Hola, Senora Collazo," I said, smiling sweetly. "I came to ask you if I could stay here tomorrow to help you paint posters for the book fair. I really don't mind spending the whole day at the library." "Aren't you going on a field trip tomorrow?" Senora Collazo asked. "My class is going, but I could be excused if you need my help." The librarian thanked me and said that if I wanted to help, I could join the other students who had already volunteered to stay after school to do the posters. Biting my lower lip, I left the library in a hurry. It was time to try my second plan. Outside, seated on the polished tiles of the covered corridor, my friends were having a tournament of jacks. But I didn't join them. Instead, I marched right to the 6th grade classroom. Senorita Antonia was grading papers at her desk as I went in. "Senorita Antonia?" I said softly. "Yes, Maria?" Senorita Antonia asked. I stared for a moment at the buckles of my shoes. Then, without looking up, I took a deep breath, swept back my black curls, and asked, "May I stay in school tomorrow to do an extra book report?" "I'm afraid not, Marilia," Senorita Antonia said firmly. "Tomorrow is our trip to the nursing home. Both the 5th and 6th grades are going. But if you want to do an extra book report, you can do it over the weekend." I glanced across the room to the trays of besitos de coco, coconut sweets, that the 6th graders had prepared to bring to the nursing home residents as an aguinaldo. Aguinaldos, surprise Christmas gifts, were fun to receive. But still I wasn't going, so it wasn't my concern. I whispered thank you to the teacher and left. That evening at dinner time, I put my third plan into action. To my parents' surprise, I had 2 big helpings of rice and kidney beans, 2 helpings of Mommy's tembleque for dessert, and 3 glasses of mango juice. I never ate so much. I figured that with all this food I was sure to get indigestion. I went to bed and waited. I tossed and turned. I waited for several hours, expecting a stomach ache any second. But instead, the heavy meal made me tired, and I fell sound asleep. "Maria, get dressed," Mommy called early the next morning. "We have to leave soon for school." How unlucky. I woke up feeling quite well. There was only one thing left to do. I ran to the bathroom, let the hot water run, and drank a full glass of it. Then I went back to bed. "Maria," Mommy came in, "get up. What is going on with you?" "I feel warm, Mommy," I mumbled. Mommy looked at me with concern. She touched my forehead and my neck. Then she left the room, and in a few minutes came back with a thermometer in her hands. I opened my mouth and she slipped it under my tongue. When the time was up, Mommy pulled the thermometer out and read it. 106 degrees, she exclaimed. "That's impossible. You look perfectly fine to me."